Welcome to this month's guided reading with me, Becca Handley, for the month of October 2025. So I'm a little bit late starting, but we've got 4 clear weeks of October to deal with. So an easier month. How lovely does that sound? We've had umpteen eclipses of late, and the summer was quite intense energetically. Yeah, a big sort of spiritual tumble dryer is the way I would describe it. But we've got a little bit more of smooth sailing now coming forward into October. We've got lots of planets in alignment, grand trines they're often called. So planets can kind of oppose each other and cause a bit of clashing and fighting in the sky, and we feel that, or they can be kind of in harmony. And we're in Libra month as well, so it's a very harmonious time. Libra is a sign of harmony and partnership. So starting off today, 6th of October, we have a full moon in Aries, and this is looking a lot at, Aries is a very sort of independent, individual sign, likes to do things their own way. Married to an Aries. Yeah, we're strong characters. But lots of positive aspects as well, I would like to think. But yes, what we're really looking at here is that sort of balance between honouring our own needs and being true to ourselves, but also looking at our relationships and looking at ways of being in more sort of harmony and there's a sense of compromise, and it's not all about us as individuals, is it? We have to relate, and we have to move through the world as a collective. So this full moon is an opportunity to see who we are as ourselves, but also what's coming up in our relationship, what's being triggered, what things are kind of coming up for us to look at. And maybe it's about speaking our truth, and some things are unacceptable. Maybe it's about stepping away from certain relationships. But a lot of the time it's kind of looking at where we can adjust and find that kind of common ground going forward, because more than ever we need to be united in a world that can feel very polarized sometimes. So if anyone's sort of taking time to look at themselves, do some sort of growth, self-worth, obviously have self-worth, it's very important. But do the work, whether you see it as a spiritual thing, as a kind of personal growth, really important that we are here to try and get the balance in the world. Be the change. So we have that lovely full moon today. There's a sort of flamboyancy to it. Aries is quite a flamboyant sign. About, let yourself shine, try not to sort of hide or be embarrassed about who you are. There's a sense of keeping grace under pressure. So we all know what it feels like to feel pressurized and stressed and frazzled, but can we sort of not lose lose ourselves too much and get too overly triggered? So it's kind of keeping centered and keeping a connection to the heart space. There is a sense of courage to take a leap of faith and trust yourself. So if you've been thinking about moving a project forward, the next 2 weeks are really, really potent for that. Let's start moving forward. I've got some writing that I want to finish and publish on my blog, and a couple of other projects. So yeah, it's time to move forward, chaps. No more procrastination. Releasing old patterns, releasing expectations, unrealistic expectations of ourselves and others. And what does this say? It looks like it says comedians, but I don't think I meant to write that. Go and see a comedian, find some humour. I did the other day, it was good to laugh. So this is guiding you back to a sense of independence, boldness and authenticity. Very good, very good. Right, quickly cracking on. So it's very much about choosing things that are rooted in our values, looking at our reactions, choosing to respond as opposed to react. On the 14th of October, Pluto goes direct. So this is a really good time for alliances, support. On the 21st, we have a new moon in Libra to help reevaluate who we are and the roles we play. So what is truly yourself? What is being shaped by, how are you letting outside forces shape you that's not authentic to you? So again, it's a sense of reinvention, shedding off old skins that we think define us, but don't necessarily do. Does that make sense? 22nd Neptune cycle. We have a cycle that has been going on for many months, and it's about a time for reflection and making conscious adjustments on your path. So again, a little bit of self introspection, having a look to see things you can tweak. And we've got this new era coming in. So it's just sort of rewriting those final pages. What can you tweak? What can you change before we move into a very different sort of energy? Then we have Scorpio season coming in. So that's quite a transformational energy. And towards the end of the month, the 24th to the 31st, which I think is half term for many people in this country, we have a grand trine in sync with the universe. So it's a real right time, right place energy. So it ends on a really high note. That last week's got some beautiful energy. Whoop, de whoop. Right, okay, moving on. I've got 4 cards for the week. I haven't actually done the cards. I often do them in advance, but I have not. I'm going to do them now. So, yeah, the power animal cards. If you watch my videos, you know these guys. Lots of little animals and big animals. Got a big bear in there. We got a little mouse. So we have a card for this first week, 6th October. Ah, porcupine, innocence. Free yourself from guilt and shame. This is a lovely card. Where are you feeling those things? Guilt and shame. I mean, it's very easy to feel shame in a society that tells us that we have to be a certain way that isn't necessarily true to us, particularly if you are in a sort of more minority group, marginalized, maybe, you know, as women, it's very easy for women to feel shame. It's very easy for people of color, gender, you know, sort of people who identify with a different gender that's not sort of the norm, or the norm as has been told to us. It's very easy to feel different. And also anyone on the neurodivergent spectrum, again, you know, it's this idea that we are not here to be in these boxes. Some people are they fit this kind of current world and they're happy to topple along, but there's a lot of people that aren't feeling sort of seen or accepted. And so therefore it's easy, like this idea that we're sort of trying to fit ourselves in this jigsaw, and with that last piece, and why can't we get that piece in, and what's wrong with us? But actually that's not our jigsaw. Our jigsaw's over there. So this is a time of just letting go. And we've got this big full moon today, so letting go so you can just be who you are, as long as you're not hurting anybody. Be who you are and don't feel bad about it. Okay, so we've got our second week now, second week of October. Oh, beautiful. The swan. Got some lovely swans here in Cambridge on the river. Appreciate the beauty inside and all around you. So there's this continuing message of acceptance, accepting yourself, loving yourself, being more present to your surroundings, noticing the little glimmers, the little things that light us up. I mean, autumn is a beautiful time of year if you're in the northern hemisphere, and obviously spring if you're down in the southern hemisphere. So we've got lots of love. Nature can give us so much beauty. Noticing, I like sort of noticing just people being kind to each other. I've been noticing that, and it's just really touched my heart. So again, it's very easy to focus on the stuff that doesn't make us feel good. In the news at the moment, not so jolly. I'm not saying we shouldn't be aware of what's happening in the world, but it has to be balanced with the good stuff. Otherwise, we're just going to sink down low. So try and lift your vibration, look towards things that give you beauty and joy, and see the beauty within yourself. There we go. Third week. What have you got for us? Who's in there? Who's coming out? A raccoon. Have you ever seen a raccoon in person? I don't. Probably have seen one in a zoo somewhere. You have all the resources you need, resourcefulness. So trusting that if you're maybe doing a project or something that you've got to birth into the world, something to do with your career, you know, it's really knowing that you've got, if you're feeling a call to do that, you've got it, but also making sure that you've got support and you're not having to do it all on your own. So calling in people that are expert in the fields that you don't know about. It's about this sense of collaboration, collectiveness. We're trying to move away from this hyper independent culture that has become the norm, and it's really, really toxic. You know, this idea that we are losing sense of connection and being social beings that, you know, not dependent. Yeah, we do depend on each other. We do need each other to thrive. You know, you can sort of be this hyper independent person plowing forward, but you're not growing. Your heart is probably not developing properly. You know, you've kind of got that sense of you're in this little, and it's again like losing sense of all the things around us and supporting everybody else as well where you can, and you've got the energy. There are a lot of people in the world who need help and support, and it's important that we need to get more of a balance, particularly in the sort of financial sense of rich and poor. The gap is huge, and it shouldn't be like that, hey? No. So helping other people to feel resourceful, and how can you use your light and your energy, and if you have the money, supporting causes, charities, for example, local associations, getting involved. So there we are. That's your third week. And then we have the last week, which is going to be this really apparently beautiful positive energy with a grand trine. Oh, it's coming out. Oh, I could have written this one. It's the hummingbird. Lighten up. Joy. So this is a really lovely message of joyfulness, of finding things that make you feel happy, your passions. Yeah, just finding things that give you a sense of lightness. And it's okay to laugh, and it's okay to be silly. We don't have to be serious. In fact, the more responsibilities we have, the more we have to balance it out with joy and light. So there, my darlings, is your reading for October. Taking care on the path, sending you much love. Full moon, blessings to you all, and I will see you very soon. Much love.